Starting recording. It should be live. Let's see.
Hello, hello. Are there
Hello,
any
can you
utterly
hear us?
beautiful animals in the chat?
Hello. Actually, give me a second. I need to move a few files. Make sure they're out of space. Just gonna dump it here. There we go. And post the announcements. Post one announcement. Post the second one. Where's the second one? I can never find channels. I'm blind. Where's the live streams channel? Oh, there it is. There we go. Get an announcement. I'm gonna post social announcements. Post. And post. There we go. Should have people coming in. Hopefully. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, is on Twitch. Hello, does the sprinkles. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to another Resonance. Hello, BD_. Welcome to another episode of Resonance, and today we're finally doing the special OTTER edition of Resonance. You asked for us to be authors, so we're clearly authors. If I zoom in, you can see like our ears are like, nice and short and round, how like otters would be. The snoot is short, and this, if I can grab it, this is most definitely an otter tail. See, like see, it's like aerodynamic, but for water. Which, like, what do you call it? Hydrodynamic. It has a good hydrodynamics.
Like hydrodynamic.
Yeah, hydrodynamics. It's very hydrodynamic tail, which is because otters love water, and there's a little water here. Also, Sarah here, he has a fish. Otters love fish.
I do have fish.
Check this out. Check this out. Got membranes. They're definitely not cursed. They help the interfinger in the interfinger connectivity, like so the fingers can communicate better. So like when we're like in water, like it speeds things up. And also, if I zoom out, also we got water guns because again otters love oops, wrong thing. If otters love water, so we can use spray everyone with water. Because there's not enough water here, we need more. We need more water.
This resonance is utterly insane.
Yes. Oh my god. I haven't even thought of that one. But yes, we are most definitely authors now. One issue, Sarah doesn't have his membranes yet. That's because he's a junior developer, so he hasn't developed one. So only senior developers get the membranes. So if you're an author, and you don't have the membrane, it's because like you're in a junior position. Once you upgrade to senior, the membranes will they will just grow.
Yeah, I'm not old yet, so I need to wait.
Yeah, it takes a bit. But yes, welcome to Resonance. We'll be here for about like probably 2 hours, answering your questions about Resonite. You can pretty much ask us anything. Make sure to put like a question mark. That way it kind of pops on our thing. We can pull it out. Make sure we don't miss the question in the flow of the chat. For some other things, we might redirect you, to some other office hours, like moderation, our team, and so on. Where you might get like a better answer. Some things we already answered them in depth before. We might redirect you to previous sources because all of these resonances, they're archived. So let's see, am I forgetting anything? Oh, we'll also be going through questions from Discord first. There's not too many this time around. But also we have a new section where we'll actually be going through some Blue Sky posts and showing some of the cool things from the community. there's a number of like things we want to like improve and add like to the resonances to like, you know, kind of mix things up and encourage people to share more stuff about Resonite. So if you're making anything cool on the platform, please share it on Blue Sky and make sure to put the hashtag Resonite, because that's, you know, what will, I'm literally gonna be going through a bunch of the posts and bring a bunch of them in, and like we're gonna be talking about them a bit too. So that should be everything, I think. We're probably gonna go through a few questions first, and then we're gonna go through some of the, let's say, like, at the floor, we're gonna go through some of the Blue Sky stuff, and then we're gonna have more time for questions, just to kind of mix it up. It's a new section, we're kind of experimenting with it. There's also gonna be some additions to like help with this in the future. So right now it's sort of more of an experiment, and it's gonna be a little bit rough around the edges, but I think it's gonna be quite fun. And it's gonna add like, you know, more variety, like where it's not just answering questions, but we're gonna also like talking about stuff that you guys are making and give you guys like spotlight. One thing we'll also be doing in the future, some of the really good posts, we'll save them and we'll also showcase them during our recap streams, which are like, you know, the big streams every month. And we want to do more of the community showcases and, you know, showcase all the really neat stuff happening on the platform. So hopefully this will be kind of good, like, you know, kind of motivator for people to share more of the things that you're making, because it's one of those things like where I notice like there's a lot of really cool stuff on the platform, but a lot of the people like, you know, like they don't know about it. Like, you know, people who don't play Resonite regularly, they don't know about a lot of the cool stuff that goes on the platform, and I feel we need to, like, you know, share it more. So we're gonna start like doing things like this to kind of help encourage that. So with this, we should be able to get started. So let me move the camera. Let me move it to the anchor so it's not floating around. And we're gonna pull the first question from the Discord. Actually, where do I put it? Because that's kind of going in the water. Actually, I can make it smaller like this. I don't know if that's...
I can stand over here a little bit.
Oh, that works. Oh. Right, there we go. Actually, I need to make a duplicate so I can read it. There we go. So, Colin the Cat is asking, are you going to use a weighted decision matrix for phase 2 of the rendering to pick the candidate? And what's your opinion on... Oh, I think these are multiple questions. Okay, so for the first one, right now it's not decided yet. I feel probably not, because a lot of it's gonna be... Like, it will take a lot of time to, like, you know, put weighted matrix that's, like, you know, accurate and complex enough to, like, evaluate stuff, and a lot of the how we actually evaluate stuff is gonna depend on a lot of details. So I think that would add more work than it would really save. If, like, you know, like, because, like, with the weighted matrix, we would have to decide, you know, like, is this thing, you know, 50%, is this 20%, is this 10%, like, you know, how important is this to the decision? And that might, like, depend a lot on, like, you know, the specifics of, you know, how certain features implemented. It might depend, you know, on some other things. So I don't think this would be like I think this would, like, make things more complex. So most of the decision is probably going to be us looking through things, being like, okay, this seems simple enough, hard enough, and kind of going from there and using part of, like, you know, our intuition as well on, like, you know, what would be the best approach. But I feel like a lot of the specifics are going to kind of, you know, crystallize during that section once we actually get, like, more data. It might end up, like, you know, for some parts of it, we might end up, like, going for something like this, but I feel right now it's a little bit too early to say. So we'll see. I feel probably not, but we'll see. You know, we're, like, not close to it. If it helps, like, improve some parts of the process. The next question is, what's your opinion on transform block component, which would block Froox engine from computing transforms of a hierarchy? Still, transform computations are usually not an issue, except for large hierarchies, order of 10 or more. which can be reached using protoflags, especially when print uses virtual parenting, lots of unpack nodes. Would it be worth GitHub issue? I can tell you straight up, this one is something we would not add. We would close that issue, because the engine needs to compute transforms in order to operate correctly. So we're not going to introduce components that would essentially make it misbehave, potentially malfunction, and maybe even cause crashes, because now things that need something computed, it doesn't get computed, and now they will try to use it and they freak out. The way problem like that would be solved is, making it so you essentially reduce things that require transform computations, because that's how the system works. If there's anything on the slot hierarchy that requires the transforms to be computed, it will tell the engine, and then L will mark those slots for computation. The solution for those computations to happen is not to have anything that requires transform updates, but if something requires transform updates, then it requires them. We can't, stop it from happening, because it needs it for its operation. So that's not something we would add. It would lead to lots of issues. For example, say you have a bunch of colliders in the hierarchy, you disable the computations the colliders actually require on it, so now the physics state gets stale, maybe even gets corrupted, and you get your collisions start breaking. That's it would introduce a lot of issues and a lot of bugs. So we will not add features like that. And the last question is there a measurable performance increase for Resonite or .NET 10? So that one, for those of you who don't know, .NET 10 released earlier this month, and one of the cool things with the splitting, which moved us, from the Unity's mono into the modern .NET 9 runtime, is that upgrading for .NET 9 to .NET 10, and in the future versions, it's super simple. We literally just say this number 9, we're gonna change this to 10, and now it runs on .NET 10. There's been few things updated libraries and small bug fix, but it was very simple and straightforward update. And the benefit of that is every year the .NET, they actually do a lot of performance improvements to the actual runtime itself. They improve the JIT compiler, which converts the code. They improve the garbage collector. They improve the libraries. And we currently have a pre-release open, where you can, I'm actually running on it right now, I'm running on .NET 10. I don't know if Cyrus, are you running on it too?
Yes,
okay, we're running on it. It's compatible with .NET 9. We're doing this way just to make sure nothing breaks, and also give people enough time to be okay, do you need maybe update something? Is there running into any issues? But so far the feedback has been very positive. People haven't really run into any particle issues, and personally I've noticed things feeling smoother, notably particles, even in heavy worlds, particles feel a lot smoother, which we believe we kind of playing with it with Cyber and some other people as well, which we believe is kind of related to improvements in task scheduling, because they did heavy improvements for that. There's also the community-made tool called BibleMark, which essentially does a bunch of protoflags parsing for stuff and just checks how fast it completes. And we've seen a number of people post their results from that. And let me see, I actually have one saved. So if I pull this out, you see one of them. Actually, I don't know which one's left and right. Let me see the camera. So the one on the left, that's .NET 9, the one on the right, that's .NET 10, and you can see there's quite noticeable improvement. It's about 20% faster, for Nexolon. And he ran this, he literally just booted, he was on the .NET 9, ran the test, switched to pre-release, .NET 10, ran the same thing, suddenly it's faster. So there's a noticeable, measurable improvement. We have number of people, so there's someone who also ran it, they had 40% improvement, but also been people who had very small, maybe 5% improvement. So I believe it's one of those, your mileage may vary. So some people might, get bigger boosts, some people get lower boosts. We haven't kind of quite looked into why. It might be maybe depending on the CPU that's used and stuff like that. But overall, there is a noticeable performance improvement. We also had another user, they were on .NET 9, they looked at the Steam graph for like frame timing, and they had like, like noticeable spikes. After they updated to .NET 10, joined the same world, it was a lot smoother, and they also felt a lot better. So there was also like measurable improvement there. And we had even some people in the GitHub discussion. Somebody was like mentioning that .NET 10 for them feels closer to .NET 9 with the Satori garbage collector, which like smooths out a lot of the garbage collector spikes. So there is definitely measurable improvement. It's not as huge as like switch from Mono to .NET 9 was, because that was like orders of magnitude, but it's still performance boost, and it's almost pretty much for free, because all we had to do is just change a few numbers to switch it to the new runtime, and we get all the benefits that the .NET 9 development team, not .NET 9, the .NET development team has put into the runtime. So I would say so, like, and I definitely like myself, I've been like joining a lot of worlds and big sessions, and it feels a fair bit smoother. We're very likely gonna release this to public tomorrow on Monday, because there have been like really pretty much like no issues, and everybody's like who reported things were like things are just running fine. So you'll be able to see for yourself, and I'm kind of curious, how much difference will people see? I do want to show you, let me move this one out of the way. We have the particle system that I've been kind of like playing with, and it's almost like, it's very mesmerizing, especially like in VR, because you can do so many particles and it just feels crazy smooth. So it's this one. I don't know if we can, I'll probably need to move the camera. Let's do this. Let me just do this. Like, look at that. Look, like it feels so smooth, and it's colliding, with everything. Like, it's very hard to describe how smooth this feels, especially like in VR. Oh, there we go. Now we got Cyrus. Like, it's like the particles is like one of the things where I noticed like most like significant improvement like in performance. And it might not even like be it might not be like the raw performance, but like the scheduling feels a lot better, because depending on scheduling, I'm being sure of my particles, because with the scheduling, sometimes like the particle update might miss a frame, so it needs to kind of skip, and it's gonna make it a little bit jagged. It's like, it feels way smoother. And there was also like funny part on the .NET 10 like performance update blog post, where for the task scheduler, which is something the particles use, they also fixed issues with like the system getting deadlocked, and they ran a test where on .NET 9 a task would time out after 20 seconds. On .NET 10, the same task completed in 4 milliseconds. So it's like 20,000 versus 4 milliseconds, and the 20,000 didn't even complete. So they did a lot of great improvements.
Yeah, it feels like the particle updates line up a lot better with the frame rate.
Yeah. So I would definitely say there's noticeable, measurable performance improvements. Again, might be like, the mileage might vary depending on the CPU you have, depending on the hardware you have. You might not see as much improvement. Some people might see more, some people might see less, but for changing a number, just bringing the runtime, like I feel that's very good. I'm very excited about it. And what's even cooler is, we'll get this every year, because .NET is on yearly release. We're just like, every year we're just gonna update the version and get some extra performance for free.
Yeah, it's very nice. Performance is actually also really good on Linux too.
Yeah.
Seems to be about like on par, or in some cases even like higher than
Thank you. Thank you, Bevo.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it seems to be in some cases honestly a little bit higher than Windows, even with like the Proton and all the DirectX calls being emulated to Vulkan, or translated rather.
Yeah, Dino was like, I was like, how is my computer not hating this? Yeah. I posted a video as well, like on devlog, and like they were like, look at that, look how smooth it is. It feels so cool. I can't even see all of it because of the framing. Hold on. If I do this. Yay.
These quote unquote GPU particles, big giant air quotes.
Yes. That's actually one of the funny things is like a lot of people like they think these are GPU particles, they're simulated on a GPU. No, this is on CPU. I'm like, it's one of the things CPU. I'm really proud of, like photon dust. And I want to like do more stuff like that. So that was Colin's question. We also had a question from Floofy. This one should be pretty quick. They're asking if we're gonna like answer like any of the questions, but they're like linking the previous thread. Those questions, the thread that we linked, that's for the previous Resonance that already happened a few weeks back. The recording of it is available on our YouTube channel. At least it should be. If it's not, like let me know and we'll make sure it's posted. But if you scroll up like in the channel, there should be like find whatever the latest video link to YouTube is, and it should have like the questions from the previous thread. So with that, we have all the questions from Discord, which means we're gonna move on to the questions from the Twitch chat. We're gonna go through a few of them, and at some point, we said at a full hour, we're probably gonna go through a bunch of stuff from Blue Sky, and then gonna switch back to the questions. So with that, let's get started. So next we have Asant, which is asking Schnoppet. And in case you don't know what Schnoppet is, it's sort of like a meme that turned into like this kind of regular bit that we're doing, where Schnoppet is something that makes you, when you think about it, it just makes you disintegrate. And we kind of like using it to kind of share like, some of the kind of frustrations and things like we kind of deal with. Just so the opposite, like typings, which is like things that make us reintegrate. I have to think about mine a little bit. Sarah, do you have any Schnoppet ready to go? I might need to consult my document.
Let's see, have I encountered a Schnoppet recently? I guess like this is kind of one. I've been like poking around in like in like a Unity project a little bit, and like on Linux, I noticed that like the UI on like the Unity editor is like really slow and kind of laggy and like blah to use. Like it's just kind of, it just feels bad. And then I was like, okay, well maybe I'll try and force it to Vulkan. And it's still, like, it's better, like, don't get me wrong, but it's still not great, especially with a lot of UI elements on the screen, like, trying to edit things and stuff. So what I did, and this is also because, like, I was messing with, like, some shaders or whatever. What I did was I installed the Unity editor in Proton, well, I tried to at first, but Unity Hub doesn't really quite work right. So I had to like go install like some, like I think I had to install some fonts, otherwise it wouldn't boot. And then I tried like installing like Unity 2017 so I could use the legacy login, so I could actually like log in and get like a personal like license. And then finally it booted, but when it booted, it runs like 10 times better in Proton. So my Schnoppet is, why is the Unity editor suck?
Yeah. I mean, we were like joking that like the Proton/Wine is like the most stable API on Linux.
It kind of is.
It's like, it just kind of like abstracts a lot of things away, and like a lot of the differences between, the, what's it called? Different like distros and, yeah, and like frameworks and things. Actually, I figured out a snippet. It's actually related to like something we've been talking about, which is the .NET, .NET 9 to .NET 10 upgrade. Because on the issue like we had, like, some people were actually started arguing like we shouldn't be working on this, and and they had like these like long posts and so on. And there's like a thing sometimes that happens is like people don't want to prioritize certain things even after like already like made a decision to prioritize them. And overall, it's especially for issues like that, like it's like when it's there's not even a question, for example, how long will this take us? And with some issues, like like I said, like upgrading to .NET 10, it's super simple, like on our end. It's like very quick, and we end up in the situation where like we'll have to argue with people for longer than it actually takes us to do the thing. So if somebody has the issue with us, wasting time on something, and they end up like being the ones like wasting our time on like pointless set of arguments, that gets like a little bit annoying, because we don't want to be arguing with people like all the time. We want to be like working on things, and some things are like, if the discussion started for example asking how long does it take us to do, like how big of a prioritization it is, I feel it would go like way better. But like some people just jump into a bunch of assumptions and start arguing about that, and that gets a little bit like it's not nice to deal with, like on our end, and it wastes a lot of our time. It wastes a lot of like mental health. Please be a little bit more like for like, there's a lot of people who are like very happy about this update, but generally we ask people to try to be a little bit more considerate, to kind of approach things in like softer way. Don't jump into things, maybe ask us first, make it be a regular conversation. But like if somebody jumps in and they're like very aggressive, like out of the box, it kind of makes the whole mood like difficult. So that would be like one of the snippets. It's not the first time like something like this happened. There's been a few cases like where literally like the back and forth and like dealing with that, it like took longer than actually just working on the issue. And at that point, like it's like the time is lost, and that doesn't really help contribute to things. Next question we have, so let me see the time. We still got time before we start the one. We have one from ClimberJ. Do you have tool rocks as well? I don't actually know what it means. Is there like something with the rocks for authors?
Tool rocks? Oh, I think they're. I wonder if they're talking about like. Are you talking about like stuff that like we hold and like we like. I don't know, like bang against other things? I'm not really sure. I think I don't know. It's like a vague. I actually don't know. Now that I think about it.
I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. Next question is from Navy 3001. They're asking what's next for performance update. Still the issue slots generate lag when loading in. Maybe have the creation of slots slower to help remove the lag. I don't quite understand. If the generation was slower, then would cause more lag, because you want it to be fast. Because if it's slow, then it's slow. It lags because it's slow. There's a number of things that we could improve with this particle thing. That would be notably what I think would improve this most is like reworking the data model, but it's going to help reduce a lot of the overhead. It depends a little bit like what specific scenario you're thinking, because slots can be generated under lots of different scenarios, and there's a lot of like kind of different approaches, but some of them might be specific, to particle or systems. So it's kind of hard to answer this in general. In terms of what's next for a performance update, there's still going to be like some cleanup for a few things. We still have like a work in progress for the Beppu upgrade. We're going to move some things, for the scheduler and so on. So there's like a few small things. For the next big push for performance, not sure yet. It hasn't been decided yet. Where I'm probably like leaning towards to is like reworking the update system, especially introducing like variable rate updates, because I think that one would essentially provide be able to provide a really like noticeable performance improvement with like, you know, the existing system, but again, not been decided yet. It's just kind of like what at this moment what I would be leaning towards too, but we're not going to be doing another big push for performance update as the next thing. We're going to be working on some other stuff. And we also got, we're going to answer this one, and I'm going to move to the Blue Sky posts. Finus Farmers asking, are you excited for MFF? Yes. I'm gonna be at MFF. It's like in 2-ish weeks, 1.5, something like that. Yeah, very excited. There's gonna be a bunch of Resonite people. Keep an eye, like, you know, keep an eye on the Discord. So, like, we might like post like if there's like any like meetup. It's probably gonna be like unofficial, but we try to like, you know, usually meet up somewhere with a bunch of Resonite folks. But yeah, very, very, very excited. So we're at the full hour. So we're gonna do the new part where we're gonna bring a bunch of posts from Blue Sky. Right now we don't have a good system for that, so what I'm gonna do is just like bring some videos and I'm gonna screenshot the post and just paste it here. So it's primitive, but it'll work. We're gonna have a nicer system for this in the future. But we essentially want to, you know, showcase stuff you guys are doing and show like, you know, what's going in the community. So feeling like, you know, having a dedicated section to that, like called Habitat. The way we do this is like I literally just go for the hashtag Resonite on Blue Sky. I sort the posts and I'll start bringing them up. Like anything that seems interesting to talk about. Let me enable capture as well, so it's easy to screenshot. There we go. So let's see. So first, this one I'm just gonna screenshot. We got a post from Cynic 1254. Looks like they're talking about a stream. I think the stream is probably already over because it's been posted 3 hours ago. But it might be like worth like, you know, watching the channel of the streaming Resonite. We definitely want more people, you know, to stream, so that's really cool. Ooh, this one is, the next one is pretty cool. Let me see if I can actually bring that as a video, because it has a video included with it. And bring this in. While this loads, I'm also gonna put a screenshot here. So this, yeah, it loaded. So this post is from Bree from Bressert. Didn't mean to do that. Looks like Bressert is like working on a compiler made in Protoflux for Brainfuck, which is like, you know, one of the esoteric, like, you know, fun languages. And they have a video. Let's play this. Actually, this is, hold on. Is it playing? There we go. Ooh, okay. So it looks like they put like in the like Brainfuck like program and actually generates Protoflux nodes, and it prints out Hello World. That is really cool. I love like projects like this. Like it's kind of like, you know,
cool.
It's quite an achievement, like, you know, like implementing other programming languages, like, you know, with Protoflux. I've actually seen there's been like Brainfuck interpreter that was made for like one of the past Metaverse Maker contests, but this one seems to work on a different principle, like where it's actually like I would kind of consider like, you know, more of like transpiler where it, you know, converts it to Protoflux. That's definitely quite impressive, and they seem to have like a bunch of like follow-up posts as well.
Yeah, Bree's very like into like the computer science and stuff, and like a lot of the like theory and things like that. Yeah. So you should definitely check some of their stuff out. They're very cool. Yeah, they're very, very neat. Next one. This one is in Japanese, so unfortunately, let me actually see if I can translate it. It looks like some kind of event. So let me bring this one in. So the translation is Resonite Air Rider Tournament, won Flying Pig Award, shortest flying distance award. I'm really weak in regular competition, so I need to practice a bit more. I don't know if it's a translation thing or if it's like a fun thing, but
Interesting. It's like a event. Like the Japanese community, they like host a lot of like really cool events on Resonite. Ooh, this one, this next one is also kind of neat. This is from Autumn Blessings. Looks like she's doing a giveaway. So let me bring the video. I'm gonna bring this for. Ooh, oh, jeez. There we go. We got a video in. And I'm also gonna screenshot this because this has a bunch of information in it. There we go. So Awesome Blessing is doing a giveaway. Not sponsored. It's let's watch the video. I think this will probably just explain all of it. So I'm gonna pull the audio up and play this.
Ho ho ho! Happy holidays! Every new user
Hasn't
on
playing.
Resonite that follows me between now and January gets a Froox gingerbread cookie, and they're edible.
Oh no! Why is it not playing?
Ho ho ho! Happy holidays!
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Every new user on
Video link.
Resonite that follows me between now and January gets a free Autumn Blessings gingerbread cookie, and they're edible.
Yay! Get free gingerbread cookies. Yeah, Autumn Blessings has also like a lot of like cool content as well for Resonite, so give her a follow. Ooh, the next one. This one's very simple, but I kind of like it. It's Haze, or I think it's pronounced Haze. They made a cube in Resonite. You see, in Blender, like you start and you get a cube for free, but in Resonite you have to make it.
Yeah, you gotta get like that. You gotta make it the old-fashioned way, like they used to back in the 80s.
Yeah.
The vertex by vertex, tangent by tangent.
Oh my. Let me scroll through a few more, see if I can find some cool posts. Oh, this one's maybe interesting. This one's posted from Dalek. Let me put this on the string. There we go. So they learned about a tool called Recon. It's a mobile app for to let you chat with people, browse instance info, and inventory. Yeah, so this one, for people who don't know, like it is a community-made tool that essentially lets you chat with people. There's like a bunch of cool things, and we love like seeing community projects like this, which like help kind of fill some gaps or like do extra kind of functionality. So, yeah, it's a good discovery. And if you don't know about it, now you do, and you can give it a try. Let's see, what do we have? Got a bunch of streams. We got my post about the sliding particle system. Ooh, there's actually one we can oh wait, not this one. This is a Resonite one. We got one about Block Party. Let's see. Looks like someone, Dalek, they're also working on a short video. They've been like working with someone on something. The video's not part of this one, so we can't play it, but like looks like they're working on something, and something might be coming soon. So if they post it, maybe we can show it on the next Resonance. Oh, and we got like a nice post from Dippe. They seem to just be having lots of fun with Resonite and sharing some screenshots. I like these posts too.
I always like it when people are just having a good time. It's nice to see like new users come in and they like immediately like start like having fun and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And like I've seen some of those new users like they'll join for like the first time and I'll see them in like a week and they're already like making like some giant project in like Proto Flux or like have a huge avatar project or something.
Yeah, there's a few people like who like they told me like when they got on Resonite it kind of ruined their sleep schedule because they would get so many ideas for projects and then they would like skimp on sleep like because they would stay up like working on them. And I'm like, oh no. It's both like it's both like, oh cool, like they're like Resonite, but also like, oh no, we are ruining their sleep schedule. Let's see, do we have more posts? I'm kind of like trying to look for... Oh, there we go, there we go.
It just
this
means
one
we're
has
we're a really good substitute for reality.
Oh my god. We can post from Kiba, and we actually posted this one in Discord too. They made a really cool world called the Frogbog, and they have a trailer for it. We posted in the announcements, but like it's a really good trailer, so I'm just gonna put it here as well. So let me actually move this out of the way, and I'm gonna paste the video. The world has been like open, like I've seen it like oftentimes like itself has been open during the block party too. Let me just pull the audio up, give it a second to load. And it's a very cool like map because like it's very unique, like it's like a very cool theme, like where it's like in this frog bog and it's like swampy and so on, but it's also like a lot of environmental like storytelling in it, where like it's literally all the stuff is made for frogs and you're like sort of this outsider that like came to this thing. But it's a lot of fun, there's a lot of games, there's a lot of like cool areas to hang out, it looks very pretty, there's a bunch of like interactivity. So let me... Is this having issues? Why is video having issues? The video is always gonna... Well, it's not just YouTube, but this video generally being painful. I'm just gonna show you the post in case you haven't seen it. It's from Kiba. In case you wanna follow him. Let's hit play. Which authors like. Also made like a bunch of these frog avatars as well. Yeah, it's a very cool world. Definitely give it a visit. We haven't seen it yet. Let's see. Do we have more? Ooh, this one, let me see if I can bring this one in. This one also has video. Generally, I really like, polls with video because they kind of show things in action. So you can show a lot of like interactivity in a way that's not like clear from just pictures. Emil, aka Werewolf, they are making this quadruped avatar. It's like really cool. They made like a lot of like cool systems for it. It looks like they're showcasing some kind of like head tilt system. So let's give this one a play. If it plays. Yeah, of course, video's having issues. I'm actually don't need the sound. I'm gonna reset it. There we go. Now it plays. Looks like they're making some kind of head tilt system. Which is actually a thing, like I've been thinking about adding something like to desktop, like where you can like just hold a key and like you can tilt your head, because you can do it in VR and it can be like, Hmm. Hmm. But like we can't do it in desktop. You only have like these axes, but not the roll axis.
Yeah, I can't roll around.
Can't roll around.
I need to make a thing that like just pivots around my head where I
There
can
we
just
go.
like turn upside down.
We got a post from Rukio, envisioned this no video in this one, but there's a bunch of cool screenshots. Seems they're working on like a roller skate map. I've been like hearing about it a bit, and looks like they're sharing a bunch of the screenshots. I actually have like some models. Looks like there's like like a shop. And there will be like kind of customized things. Let's see. Ooh, there's a thing I haven't seen before. Someone called. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Oh, I get a screenshot of chat. Come on. There we go. I'm gonna put this one here while I pull the video up. They're making some kind of earthquake simulator in Resonite. And they have a YouTube video link, so let's give it a watch. I'm gonna move it over here, put the actually I should have just put the video in and let it load while you can look at the post. Come on. Video. This is the post again. There we go, the video's loaded. So I'm gonna hit play.
Right, so we'll need to interpret what's going on here. So let's see.
Duck and cover.
Don't shake the table and have all of your items fly off onto the floor.
So let me just put it like this.
Protect your head with the metal pan.
Ooh, is it like
Or briefcases.
teaching you the
Or a child.
what to do in case of an earthquake?
Elevator.
Yeah, you don't need her.
I wonder if it's like an educational word or if it's like
전체적인 설명을 진행한 후 체험을 진행하도록 합니다. 지진 발생. 지진 발생.
Oh, the earthquake
현재
police are on
지진이
their way.
발생하였으니
Things are shaking a little.
that does feel kind of
Just a typical
educational.
day in California.
Because one of the things I really like is like one thing that's cool about VR is
Oh no, the table has no collisions.
using it
Can't
sort of
hide
for
under here.
training and learning things.
What the fuck is this move I'm doing?
I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to do that during an earthquake. I think that's what happens when the earthquake when you don't take precautions during earthquake, you end up a pretzel.
갑니다.
It's not as painful in VR, but a lot more painful in
I
VR.
think that means to hide under them.
Oh. I think it needs to take them away.
If everything's tied down.
Oh, did they duct tape them?
Oh look, at least they put a button to stop the earthquake right under the table.
Turns out it's not actually an earthquake, it's just an American tourist that got off.
Oh my god.
Oh good, we can finally leave.
We can? How'd you get out?
Just click on the door. There should be a box on the doorknob
Oh,
now.
we're outside now.
That seems.
Yes. Danger, lower your position.
And it seems to be like a
do the reverse.
published worlds
conga all
too,
the way
so
down.
you might wanna check it out.
Oh, and now we're back in the void.
So we escaped.
Okay.
We escaped the earthquake.
Let me see, I'm also looking for another post. Might like finish this section for now. Ooh, there's actually another cool one. This one is from the Japanese community, and it's kind of very simple to explain, kinda. It's trains. The Japanese community have been like working on a really cool like train system, and it seems like it has so many like details. It's like very elaborate. Let's see if this loads in. Like, I've been like seeing this like for a few months at this point. Let me actually translate and see what the post says. I managed to get it moving and I'm smiling. Hashtag Resonite. Ooh. Okay, let's watch the video. I'm gonna hit play. Oh, there we go. Right place. Ooh, it sounds. Oh. It's been like some other videos I've seen like from them, like where they have even like, you can change the rails and do other stuff. Like, it seems to be like a really like elaborate. Ooh, we got a post from someone about the Halloween session. They seem to be sharing a number of screenshots. So, oop, where we go? Scroll too much. ZT is saying Halloween session at Resonite was enjoyable. And we got a bunch of screenshots. Like, there's actually one from the Frogborg. There's like, I think that one's from. Is that from Resonite? I'm not sure. There's one from the pumpkin patch, which is a really cool world, like where you can, carve your own pumpkins. And I think this year, like, they caught like 1,600 pumpkins or so. I don't know if the world has published it, but once it is, or maybe it is, definitely check it out, because it's like shows a lot of kind of cool creativity from people. So we've been at this for about 20 minutes. I think it might be kind of a good time to kind of cap it off and move on to more of the questions. And I just see another video. Never mind. I'm gonna showcase another video because this looks really cool. Let's bring this one in. I'm also gonna screenshot the post. This is another from the Japanese community. Looks they're making some kind of like visual effect. So this is the post itself. Which is like a Japanese. Oh, it's decorate. I've seen like their stuff. They make like a lot of like cool animation stuff. It looks like they're making some kind of systems because they're. Ooh, oh jeez, keep moving. They like make like systems to simplify like animation, and they like make animations with those, and it's super neat. So I'm hitting play. Hopefully this just plays on the first. There we go. Yep, it's playing. Looks like they're showcasing. Look at that. It's like kind of creating like a ray fog effect. What is that? Colors perspective. Probably like messing like with cameras a bunch. Ooh, oh, it's like God rays. Ah, oh, that's very cool. What's always crazy them is like how much people are able to like do in Resonite. And let's do one more post. This is actually kind of hard to stop now because there's like a lot of there's a lot of like kind of cool posts. So there's another post. Oops. Another post. This one's from Aeski. Spend a lot of time on Resonite, everything avatar. Absolutely love how charming and visual workshop board is. Check it out if you have not already. Yeah, the workshop board is pretty cool. Like, we use it for like team meetings and such. It's also kind of cool, like showcasing Resonite. They're like working on their avatar, a bunch of product flags there, a bunch of materials, just like working on it. Looks pretty neat. Okay, I think I'm gonna cap it off for now. Otherwise we could like spend here forever going through posts. I do want to like add like some things so it's kind of easier to share in these in here. Hopefully you've enjoyed this section. Like let us know, how like us, sharing the posts and so on. We'd like to like iterate on this and improve like this part of like Resonance. But I would definitely love to. Oh my god. Thank you, Beauty _. Oh my god, it's so many.
Oh boy.
And look at smoothies, are you so smooth? They're so smooth.
Look at all the particles.
Oh, oh my god, they're like falling on this thing. This is really cool. But yeah, thank for everyone, like, we showcase things, like we posted, we'll like, even if they're like more historical posts, like we'll scroll through them and pick up like whatever's like interesting, whatever catches our eye. And if you'd like, your post to kind of show these, make sure to post them on Blue Sky and tag them with hashtag Resonite, because literally all I did is just like go for the hashtag, sort by like this post, and just go through them. I might try like next time also sorting by like top posts, so like we can show the popular ones, because we probably like missed some, but I hope you enjoyed this section. Now we're gonna move back to the questions from your chat. So the next one is from Qualitorium. Qualitorium is asking, I see the one of the blocking issues for collection supporting help issue 571, implement localness tracking analysis per Froox. Do you have any thoughts on how you'd like to implement and expose that information? Yeah, it's actually part of its systems already implemented with Protoflux itself, because it also tracks something called like continuity. Like, for example, if you have, series of nodes doing a bunch of computations and then you're driving something, if the nodes like are all, if like your inputs, only change sometimes, it doesn't make sense for the drive to be computed every frame because that's inefficient. So what the system does, it actually collects, it propagates, when certain input, like outputs should change. And for specific drive, it's gonna know, okay, this drive only needs to be updated when either this one, or this input changes. And then it hooks events, so it knows, okay, like, it gets informed where those inputs change, so it can mark the drive for updating. But there's also going to be some nodes, like for example, smooth lerp or time, where it is known ahead of time they're pretty much going to be changing every single frame. So rather than wasting a lot of resources on tracking, like when they change, it propagates these sort of continuous updates. And if that propagates towards for example, a drive, it'll just say, just update this drive every frame. Like, don't bother spending time tracking the changes. And that actually makes it more efficient, because it would have to update pretty much every frame, like, anyways. And now, like, it doesn't have the overhead of tracking the updates, which helps, like, overall, like, speed it up. The localness tracking is gonna use the same system, where instead of the continuity being propagated, it propagates localness. So if you have some input or some node that has local only data, it's going to propagate that information towards the inputs, and if you try to plug it into like an input that would be synchronized, it's going to tell you have these sources that are local only. Is this what you want to be doing? And then you essentially say yes, I do want to connect this because I'm handling, making sure this stays in sync myself. So it's already going to use, parts of the existing system. It's been designed that way on purpose to make implementation of the localness tracking very easy to add. This one we already shown. So next question's from Ace on Twitch. Ace is asking, what do you guys think about the new hardware Valve announced? Do you think Resonite will be able to run smooth on Steam frames standalone? So there's kind of two questions in that one. So first on the hardware, it's quite exciting. Valve is doing more hardware. They're doing the new controller, which I haven't actually used it myself, but I know from a bunch of people they really liked the controller, and they were very sad when they discontinued the previous version. There's also the, actually I forget the name of it. I just know it as the Gape Cube, the PC. That was also kind of cool.
It's the Steam Machine, I'm pretty sure.
Steam Machine. It'll always be GateCube to me. And of course, that's most relevant to us, the Steam Frame, which I'm really glad, there's new VR hardware, a standalone headset that's not meta. There's a lot of things about it, that are very exciting. One of the things that I found very interesting is it runs, it's Arch-based. So it's literally you can be I wear Arch on my face, by the way. And I'm kind of curious how it's going to work. We're actually able to use, your desktop environment in VR that's just runs on the headset. And apparently you can also run normal games, which I imagine there's probably going to be like some screen in front of you or something. Like, it is very cool from that aspect. It also has eye tracking, which is like, big plus. It doesn't have face tracking, but I feel like you can, just attach like Project Babel on it, which is actually what I'm using right now. So I feel that shouldn't be that big of an issue. They probably like already made or they're gonna make like braces for it, so it's like easy to attach. For me, one of the things that like I'm personally kind of disappointed for is that like it uses LCD displays, because in VR headsets, I really want OLEDs, because like I really want like true blacks. I want like very vivid colors. The LCDs, they tend to make me feel, especially in dark environments, they make me feel like I have like cataracts because of the grayish glow. My hope is they would do something similar with Steam Deck, where like they would release like more expensive version with OLED. I don't know if they'll do it, and I don't know, maybe complicate things, but it is my hope they would do that at some point. But regardless, I am very excited. There's more hardware like out there, and as from a company like that I personally like trust. So like I'm very happy for that. And we did apply for like a developer unit as well. We'll see if they give us one or not. It's kind of, I don't know like what their kind of processes are for this. But hopefully they'll send us one. Like I would definitely love to like play with it, make sure Resonite like works really well. Do you want to talk about the hardware itself before I move on to the next question? Like about how it all ran?
I'm really excited because like it is a very like comprehensive like radio setup in it. Like it's got 2.4 gigahertz for the controllers, 5 gigahertz for its own like internet connection, and then 6 gigahertz like solely for the VR connection to your computer. Yeah. So they're advertising latencies of, I think, like on slightly older but still VR capable GPUs, they're advertising latencies of like 5 to 6 milliseconds. And on modern GPUs, they're advertising latencies down to 1 to 2 milliseconds. Which is actually like just insane.
Yeah. I mean, even like with like, I've been like, whenever I travel, I use my Quest Pro, and I use Steam Link with it, and like that always like feels really good. Like it's like one of the best streaming solutions for me. Them also making hardware to pair with it, like that's gonna be like, I feel like God tier.
Yeah, I think that plus there's like this upcoming like new full body tracker from a company called FluxPose that's going to be using like electromagnetic field tracking that actually looks really darn good. And honestly, I'm convinced that Lighthouse might be on its way out.
Yeah, I'm just excited for those. So
fully standalone.
For the second question, like Resonate running smooth on Steam Frame standalone, right now I feel it's too early to say. There's a lot of variables. So what I'm kind of curious about is like, because when we run, like, so Steam Frame is like, it's kind of streaming first. So you'll be able to like, run it like on your PC, stream to the headset. I think that's going to be, the same as it is like right now. Plus, the improved latency and stuff like that. For running on the hardware itself, there's a few questions that we're like, figure out. On Linux, one of the things we do because of the splitting, we actually run the main process as native Linux application, as like native .NET 9 application with the binary, like the native libraries being compiled for Linux, for x64. And when you start it, and only the render, which is like, Unity, that actually only the render is running under Proton. Well, that's the bootstrap one that runs under Proton, but that's not too important for this. What I'm curious about, because the Steam Frame, it's an ARM platform. So it's not like x64. I'm curious if the Proton with, I think they're using VEX, or what was it called? For like emulating x64.
It's FEX.
FEX. Oh. I'm curious if we can escape that and essentially run, because .NET 9 and .NET 10, they support ARM. So that should run. J4, when our team's also been working on compiling our native libraries for ARM, so we might be able to escape that and run the main process natively and have only the Unity process, which is doing the rendering, run under under Proton with the ARM to x64 translation layer. In terms how smooth it runs, there's so the smoothness depends, are we able to do that? Because if we are able to do that, that skips, Proton and the ARM emulation for, majority of the CPU processing for the engine itself. That's just going to run natively, which is going to help reduce a lot of the overhead. The other thing is, how well the emulation works, how much it slows the render down, because the render will have to run under that, at least until we eventually switch our render. So depending how much it slows it down, that's gonna depend on things a bit. And the third thing is, how's the performance itself? We don't know right now, so hard to say. It is mobile hardware, so I don't it's not going to be able to handle as much as desktop can, because it just straight up doesn't have as many resources. Whether it runs smooth or not is going to heavily depend on what kind of world you are in. But we've had some interesting things where people in our community, they've already Orion Munkolo, he already got the splitting, he got it to run on his mobile phone under ARM, and it wasn't awful. He managed to load the Cloud Home, and normally he got 9 FPS there, which isn't much, but if he scaled the window down, so it's rendering a lot less, the FPS went to I think he said something 20, 30. So it was actually kind of decent. And there was mobile phone. Steam Frame, it should have better GPU, so because when you scale the window down, that indicates a lot of the performance is actually because rendering too many pixels. That's too heavy on it. Steam Frame should have better GPU. I think it's AMD custom based, so that should make it work better. But ultimately, we'll have to try it. There's a lot of variables. Are we able to escape the ARM sandbox? How fast is
shared memory?
Shared memory. How fast is how fast is essentially gonna be the emulation for, or translation for the render, and what's just the raw performance itself? We'll probably experiment with it, but hard to say. But even with all of that, if everything is optimal, I still you're not gonna be able to get as smooth as you can on PC, just because the hardware is not as fast. So you might need to limit it to smaller worlds, or lower you need to reduce amount of geometry you have, amount of lights, amount things like that. But we'll see. I'm pretty excited for it.
The only real point of comparison we have are comparing it to some of, I think some people got Resonite running, they recompiled an Android version of it to run it on a Quest or something. So that's
Quest.
The only real point of comparison that I would have for how good it might run. Bottom line, it might run a little bit better than that. Who knows?
I think it'll be better because of the GPU. I mean, in the past, I got Froox engine to run. The earliest was a thing Oculus Go, and it worked. It ran. You couldn't load as complex worlds, but it wasn't too awful. And that was with Mono. That wasn't even with .NET 9. So I think you'll be able to do a bunch of stuff natively. It's just actually, there was another person, they were running, I met them yesterday? No, 2 days ago. It was a Campfire Friday, and apparently they were running in VR on, the, is it Asus or Acer? The handheld headset, what is it called? The Li ROG?
I think that'd be Asus.
Is it Asus?
Yeah, Asus, I think, has the ROG brand.
ROG, Li... Yeah, this is Asus. So they were running on that in VR and actually got decent frame rate in a world with I don't know, over 20 people. So promising. I don't know how, again, I don't know how it compares, you know, in terms of performance though, like to the Steam frame. We'll have to wait and see, but I think you can like get like a decent amount of like worlds. Like if they're not too complex, I think you can get like a bunch of them to run like okay.
Or work on some personal projects like
yeah. And Valve, give us dev kit so we can experiment, please.
Pretty please.
Next question we got is from Tam. Tam is asking. Also, I just realized, you know, like asking if somebody from Valve like ends up like watching this, or like we're just, you know, asking them, and we're just like, you know, like this just floating around. It's gonna be kind of fun. We're doing a special OTTER stream, therefore the water. Next question is from Tam. Are there plans for external tools for Resonite? If so, would you like to get what would you like to get done first? Yes. So one of the things we want to add Unity SDK as one of the things, because that's it's gonna make it easier for people, you know, coming from other platforms to like, you know, bring existing content in without having to sort of rework a lot of it. And even just, you know, if you prefer working in Unity, you can, you know, build a lot of stuff there, bring it over. It's going to allow, you know, for that kind of like new workflow. But generally, when we make things for Resonite, we make them very generalized. We want them to be like, you know, we want to get like the biggest bang for the buck, you know, for like where the buck is like how much time we invest into something. And for this, the way we're going to approach it is we're essentially going to introduce sort of like an API for Resonite, where if you're familiar with web browsers, there's something called the document object model. It's sort of like a tree which describes the entire web page, and you can manipulate that, and you can essentially build a web page, you know, from scratch. And when you load HTML, like, you know, when the web browser loads HTML, it builds the DOM, you know, from that. But then with JavaScript, we can manipulate it, or we can just start with a mostly empty one and just build it out. It's sort of like, you know, how the web browser represents the web page. We're going to introduce something that's analogous to that, where there's like, you know, sort of like tree structure where we can manipulate the scene, and that's accessible from external, you know, endpoint. You're going to have to like, you know, start session like in that mode. But once you do, other tools can, you know, use it. And one of the tools we will build on top of that is the Unity SDK. But here's the clever part, is like, because we've been also kind of trying to like lean more into like, you know, the community, because people in the community like, you know, very skilled in a lot of things. And people, you know, love extending things, you know, making their own forks, or even like just making their own solution for things. So approaching it this way, we can, you know, sort of build the initial version of it. But the actual SDK for Unity, we're going to make it open source. So people can like both look at it as a reference for their own solutions, make forks, or even make like official contributions. So for example, if people want to improve conversion for some things, or convert like, you know, stuff that's specific to their projects, extend the tools, they'll be able to. What it's also going to allow is people in the community will be able to like, you know, make other SDKs, for example, you know, for Godot or for Unreal or for Blender and for other things, because the sort of equivalent of the document object model, that's generic. It can be used with any application, you know, and like whatever you want. Like we can write like a script, like, you know, we can make like, I don't know, Python script that just, you know, populates a scene and uses this to communicate and manipulate what's, you know, what's in here. I think it's going to open a lot of like really cool options, and that's, you know, that's kind of how we want to approach it. So we're going to probably do the Unity SDK, because that's like, you know, where what most people probably need right now, especially coming from other platforms. But we're going to do it in a way that opens the door to lots of more additions and lots of community contributions. Next question is from ClimberJ. Do you think the net updates will happen with the pre-release at some point? Probably not. Like, we usually just want to give people like time to like, you know, just be like, hey, this is happening, update your scripts, you know, it's coming. We're probably not gonna spend like too much time on it, especially if it's like, you know, relatively without issues. But we still want to give people like, you know, some heads up to be like, hey, this is updating, like make sure you're prepared. Dusty Sprinkles is asking, if the .NET build is releasing tomorrow, do you think you'll make a net9 pre-net10 branch for users who are dependent on mod loaders, kill eye tracking, or the major ones still haven't gotten up to date, and I personally at least can't play with mods in the pre-release without my setting currently reset constantly? No, that wasn't the plan. So this would be a really good thing to mention in that discussion post, because in the discussion post we ask people if there's something that you feel might, you know, delay, please mention it. As far as I know, like nobody mentioned anything like that. I've heard from some people that like mods already work, so like I haven't, like that the whatever they're like using Harmony, they haven't updated, like they already updated it, so I don't know. But this, if there's like something like this, it might be like worth mentioning. We might not delay like too much because this is a little bit of an issue that sometimes happens, is like, you know, we make these posts, we ask people, is there anything like blockers and stuff like that, nobody says anything, we update and people get upset, but we're like, you didn't tell us, you know, in the channels we opened to specifically for that reason, you need to tell us. So please, yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. They are referencing that the mod settings are resetting all the time, not Resonate settings, I believe.
Oh. If there's a bug, report it. That's also another reason we're doing the pre-release testing. Report bugs. If you don't report it, it doesn't get fixed. Like, yeah. That's like the first time actually hearing about it.
But even so, like, I don't think we're gonna like make like a like old version just to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, the whole point is like, you know, because right now whenever I like publish builds, I actually have to, it's a lot of work, because I have to make the normal build, merge everything, build it, push it to the right channels, switch, then make like a, you know, update the .NET 10 version branch to the latest master, you know, merge all of that, make a, like, pull that branch, make a build from that, push it to the other branch, update other things. It's a lot of like additional work, and if we have to keep doing it, it adds a lot of overhead. So like we want to, you know, get it out of the way as soon as we can, because it is adding a lot of work on our end. So once the .NET 10 version update happens, like the .NET 9 version is not going to be available anymore. Which is, you know, why we ask people, please report issues. And if the issues don't get reported, like, you know, they will not be fixed. So if you have, like, you know, bugs that you found on the version, please make GitHub issues. If you have, like, you know, things that are like blocked, please post it there. There's Draconis is asking, Resonance in Frogbug 1. Probably do it like, actually, is the world, I don't know if it's like published, because usually like it's like there's a session of it running, but yeah, it is published, so we're definitely gonna do a session, like, you know, Resonance in Frogbug. So yeah. not sure when, might be in the next one, might not be in the next one, but we'll do it there definitely. It's a very, very, very cool world. There's actually Kiba, like, he also like showed us like a. It's funny because like there's like a part like where he thought like we're gonna do Resonance and we're gonna do it there, but we might decide, we might find like a spot like which is like very picturesque. Progress on title, I'm not sure what one is. Quarterm's asking, given Resonite has plans to become able to be used like overall universe for other VR stuff, are there any plans to add more MR, XR reality pass-through functionality directed to Resonite? Eventually, yes. We definitely love to, like, you know, have more functionality like that, and essentially have Resonite be like this very general engine where you can, you know, mix like augmented reality, like, you know, mixed reality, do like stuff like pass-through. Like one of the things that's like, you know, my dream to kind of do at some point, is a lot of the AR headsets, they will like map your environment. What would be cool is, get that like mesh of the environment and just like, make it part of the scene. And then if somebody joins you from VR, they'll see that mesh. They'll like, see the representation of the world you're in, and you just see them in your room. And I think that could be like really cool because you put on the headset, you see your room, invite people to your room, and like, do whatever, like, shenanigans in there. I don't have like, I haven't gotten my hands like on a hardware that like, allows for that yet, so don't have that, but like I would love for that to happen at some point. Some question. Phoenix bird creature, maybe horizontal scroll wheel on mouse that has one quad head tilt. That one would be tricky because like a lot of people don't have that hardware. Like I do have it, but it's generally like we don't want to add like, features like that only like, very small subset of people can use, because I feel like horizontal tilt is like, I feel like fewer people have it than don't. Actually, no, wait, how am I saying it? I think like the people who have that are like, are more like minority.
Yeah.
I got all the BD underscore. Thank you again for the gift subscriptions. Modify Arc is asking, what is the is standalone bool field? Oh my god. Thank you guys even more.
Wow, a benchmark of a particle system. Crazy.
Yeah. This is like nothing for a particle system. Jake, if you're watching, you need to it's peanuts.
30,000. Let's go.
30,000 particles. It can do a lot. And it's gonna move the question, so let me scroll up. Let me read it again. Modify Arc is asking, what is the is standalone bool field and the facet component for, and why does it make background on the facet disappear when you pick it up from dashboard and put it back? So is standalone, it pretty much means, is this facet currently standalone? Is it just a thing by itself that you can grab, move around? Once you place it in your dash, then it's not standalone anymore because it is embedded within the dash screen. When you pull it out, it becomes standalone again because it's its own thing, like it's just floating in the world, not embedded. For the background, it's like, when it's in the dash, it doesn't need a background because, the screen already has its own background. Once you pull it out, though, you don't want it to be just, transparent text with no background. That's why the background appears. So it like, it's more kind of like self-contained, which is actually, you can think about the is standalone is like, it means it is self-contained right now. Next question's from Dusty Sprinkles. In reference to my issues with Donut 10 in both settings, but I think it's because of mods, which is why I didn't say. If it's, you could test it without mods. If it doesn't happen without mods, then it's unfortunately a mod issue, and they'll need to update. That's a thing that like we don't wait on mods to update, because otherwise, like sometimes we might not be able to update for a long while. Which is, reason like mods aren't officially supported. Give it a test. If it happens without mods, then you can report it. If it happens with mods, then unfortunately, that's up to the mod like developers to update them and fix the issues.
Yeah, I will say that I am actually using Resonite mod loader mods right now on .NET 10. I don't think I've had my settings reset once, so it might be your combo of mods.
Could be.
I think that's it for the questions.
Yeah, we've got all the questions. I'm gonna.
We've got airtime.
We got airtime. You know what this means? Oh no, I deleted all of it. I thought it's gonna delete just the pin messages.
Oh no, it deletes both.
It deletes both.
If someone asked a question just now, ask it again, because we accidentally just cleared all of the list.
Yeah, I can check the. Hold on, let me check the. Looks like there's not been a question. I can check like the channel. You know what this means?
Okay. What?
I was gonna say fish, but also we can we can look at more stuff from Blue Sky.
You know
But
what
also
that means?
fish. These particles are also nothing.
These are like auto-converted particles too.
Oh my god. Ace on Twitch is asking, when we will see a frog version of Resonance? I mean, that would be good to pair with the Frogborg. We would need to get frog avatars.
I'm not gonna be a frog. I'm sorry.
I don't want to be frog. How much? What's your frog? What's your cost for frog?
10,000.
What? Subscriptions?
Ten-
1,000?
10,000.
dollars?
10,000 subscriptions.
10,000. That's very steep.
I don't want to be a frog.
Doesn't want to be frog. See,
I
you
want to-
heard it.
I want to
10,000.
I want to continue to be fluffy creatures. I don't want to be a frog.
What about a fluffy frog?
No.
What if
I
Oop.
I want to be fluffy and optionally brown.
That can be brown frog. Fluffy
don't
brown
wanna.
frog.
No.
It fulfills all your criteria.
I want to be not a frog. There.
But if you get 10,000 subscriptions, you're gonna be a frog.
If we get 10,000, listen, if we get 10,000 subscriptions, sure. But until that point, and when that isn't, I'm not like, this isn't like a running tally either. It has to be in one stream.
Oh, I don't
Sorry.
think it's gonna happen in a while. We'll have to grow. We'll have to grow a lot of that. Jason is asking, what if Froox was a frog and Sarah was a toad?
Double no.
What if you were a tadpole?
Triple no.
The frog might be very difficult.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to be a frog.
What's the closest frog-like thing that you would be?
I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to.
No, like, what's the closest thing to a frog, but that's not a frog, that you would be willing to be?
What's close to a frog that's not a toad?
Like, I mean, whatever it is. Or what is the thing that would fit in the frog bog that you would be willing to be?
I feel like an owl could fit in there. I like owls.
Ah. So it'd be frog, it'd be owl.
Yeah, the owls can be brown and fluffy, so that fits my criteria.
There we go. Could maybe do that. I thought it might be difficult to find avatars for that too, so we'd have to figure that one a bit. Oh my god, BD Anderson's asking, what about an otter in a frog suit? What if it was like a onesie of a frog?
Oh my god.
Like, it wouldn't be a
People are
frog, it would just have a onesie. But again, like, where do we get those assets? A kiwi, where's a kiwi with a frog design?
People really want frog attributes near me, don't they?
What if we put a picture of frog on your shirt?
A picture, just like like a random PNG of a frog.
Yeah, just a random picture of a frog.
You know what? I could probably do that. It's whatever, man. I could do that, I guess. People really want frog memorabilia near me, apparently.
This is the frog. It needs to fit in the bog. We'll have to figure this one out. Modify Arc is asking, what are interesting things you can do with method proxies? Call methods? It's a very general mechanism. It depends a lot, which, essentially, as you're calling, some methods that are exposed. One of the cool things is, there's a bunch of methods, for example, for textures, and audio clips, and other types of assets, where you can do processing on them that, you cannot do with Inspector. because you can pass a lot of like, more complex parameters. So it lets you call them with protoflux, and it lets you sort of automate things. You want to like do a bunch of texture processing in game, make like a pipeline. It lets you do that.
Yeah, you can use like you could set up some protoflux on like a static texture 2D that you drop a URL into. Like let's say you have a packed like metallic smoothness map that you want to extract into a normal one. You can use the channel swapping functions in the static texture 2D from protoflux to automate that. So now you have like a little like packed texture extractor machine, basically.
Yeah.
Now, I actually just thought of a snippet.
Save it for the next one.
But I thought of it with these.
Okay, what's your snippet?
I want to. There's one method proxy that requires being able to pass in values by reference. I want to be able to pass in values by reference.
I don't know how it will work. Maybe tricky.
By ref.
Yeah, so Aegis is asking, fish stream? There already is a fish version of me for some reason.
What do you mean for some reason?
That's what made it. Also, Bravo Jules Bear is asking, Horned Toad is only Toad in name. You could be that. I don't actually know what it is. What is a Horned Toad?
A horned toad. It's still like, it's like a little like. It looks like related to like a little like lizard, like a.
Oh, I see.
Like those little like sharp looking spiky lizards you see.
Found an image. I'm gonna bring it in.
I don't want to be.
It's the power of the metaverse.
I don't want to be a lizard.
It's just imagine that. There we go.
I don't want to be a lizard.
Just this. Next question is from Modify Arc. What are dummy enums used for? Usually just for testing, or like if there's like a generic node that works with any enum, that can be like the default. So it's mostly that, like it can be default for generic types, like when you spawn a node, like it doesn't know which one you want, so it just does the dummy enum, and then once you actually plug an enum, it's gonna like automatically overload to whatever data type you plugged in. That way, it doesn't have to be like some random like enum type, like, and be kind of confusing. If it's dummy, it's like kind of like a placeholder essentially. And that's all the questions again. We have still like almost 30 minutes left, so if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna go back to the Resonite hashtag and see if we can bring more posts. Actually, I can bring my own video. Let me see, how do I do this? This one didn't want to load, but one of the things, let me just try again, maybe it lost this time. This is like the top post right now for like hashtag Resonite. I don't know if it loads. If it doesn't load, I can just bring the YouTube video, but it's a bit longer one.
Yeah, this looks like it's not loading.
Why is it not loading? It's so weird.
I think there are some pages on Blue Sky that require login to view. I don't know why.
That is weird. I had a video somewhere too, but how do I bring that in? Hold on, I could copy it from Discord.
I wonder if the FXB Sky link works.
Do we parse those?
FXB Sky. I don't think FXB Sky will work. What about B Sky X?
I don't think we parse those. Okay, let me just do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it this way. Save. Open this up. Shrunk
Related to-
folder.
Related to what's happening, Modify
Copy.
Arg asks, should all video players default to libVLC instead of Unity Player?
No.
Yeah, no.
Hold on, let's do this first.
Okay. Oops.
So this is the latest devlog. One of the things like I really wanted to add like to Photon does, there's like a few, but like one of those things is like I wanted to add ability for particles to slide, because right now you can make them bounce and they can like, you know, lose velocity, but if you set the bounce to 0 and they collide with something, they just kind of stop for the most part, or like, you know, unless there's like another force that keeps them pushing them around. What I'm adding is like, you know, where you can actually get them to slide. So like once they hit something, it can redirect the velocity. And I've been kind of playing with it. It still needs like a few tweaks and changes, but it works. Like it's really, really fun to play with. So if I play this, you can see they are interacting with a mesh collider, and they're just kind of, you know, sliding around. They're following, you know, the curve of it. It's and it can just, you know, kind of slide on the floor. Like it can adjust like the friction of it, so like they can stop, and it can also combine with the bounce. So when they're you know, like when they're bouncing, they eventually like lose velocity and just continue sliding. So there's like a lot of like really cool effects. You know, we could do like waterfalls, you know, which otters love, which we definitely are right now. And you know, just general like, you know, various kinds of effects.
In the
So-
Otterfall.
The waterfall, yeah. So that's one of the things, and seems to have like gotten like a bunch of like attention. People seem to be happy, and it's like it's just very fun to play with, just seeing them, you know, flow around the colliders and so on, because it's also like very, very smooth, especially with the .NET. Actually, I haven't tried with .NET 10 even. It was like all
Did
on
they-
the .NET 9 branch.
Do the particles actually have like a continuous collision with the floor now instead of just like bouncing?
I mean, essentially changes like how the new velocity is calculated. Instead of just losing it, it makes it like so they, you know, it redirects the velocity.
Okay.
Let's see. We have we also got a question from Modify Arc. Modify Arc is asking, should all video players default to libVLC instead of Unity Player? They definitely should not. Unfortunately, there is a bug with the libVLC, especially like the integration we're using, where if everything defaults to it and you load too many video players, it'll just eat all of your CPU and you will just die. Which is one of the reasons we actually have the Unity Player, because that prevents that from happening. So definitely not a good idea. Don't default them to like libVLC. Just let the system, you know, decide what they should load as. We got another post. This one's from I mean, it's not as relevant anymore because it's already happened, but we're still gonna share it because of like people sharing things. Kakurari is posting second Resonite block party is on until 7 p.m. tomorrow, which already happened. So, you know, again in the past, but the shared post is pretty cool. Thank you for sharing.
I think all video players should default to converting every video imported into Resonite into Flash. Or QuickTime.
Actually, wait. Actually, you're on OTTER right now. This is just rewarding you, which I shouldn't be doing.
MP2.
No. Let's see, do we have any more? We don't have any more questions, so let's look for more posts. And yeah, there's like a super cool poster. I'm gonna paste this one in. Let's look at my membranes. to like my main brains. It's actually using the same procedural mesh that like Protoflex wires are using. Just like it's connected between the fingers for the webbing. Kiba made like a cool poster for the frog bug. Let's see. I'm gonna show this one off. There's more trains. We showed this one. Let's see. Is there any cool stuff to share? Ooh, we actually got a question from Dusty Sprinkles. They're asking what are our thoughts on BC7 ANC. It looks very promising. Like, if it's like good, like we will definitely consider like kind of switching to it, upgrading, you know, from the system. My main kind of concern is like, you know, how well it works for a wide variety of textures, because sometimes like, you know, you get one of those things where you test it with some textures and like it has much better results, but then you test it, you know, with like with other things and it starts kind of, you know, either giving worse results or like being bad. So like there's one thing we mean to make sure that doesn't happen and test it with wider variety of textures and make sure it's, you know, general improvement across the board. Assuming it is, that, you know, pretty much like resolves, you know, that kind of concern. I think there might be like some fewer issues as well, where like it doesn't support some things we need, so we might need to still like use it alongside Compersonator, but it's good like it's good to have like kind of more, you know, modern solutions, or like at least like less chunky ones or more optimized ones.
I will say I've actually been using that for the past like week and a half or so, and I actually made a thing to like batch convert like some textures into BC7 to see if anything would screw up, and so far it's been pretty perfect. I like compressing BC7 textures in 15 seconds as opposed to 300 seconds.
How are you comparing the texture quality?
It's mostly just like A/B looking at them.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to have any. There doesn't seem to be any like detrimental impact. In fact, the texture quality seems to be better in most cases.
That's good. And there's also like a thing, like there's like, you know, algorithmic version like to kind of measure that, and there's like, you know, the kind of like visual look. I'm really curious how it handles like, you know, some really complex textures, because that's usually when I end up like using BC7 is like when it's like very challenging texture. For BC3, like it has like a lot of color like variation, because BC7 can do a lot better with those. But there's also the part like, you know, like a bit worried, like it might be making some trade-offs, but it was mostly just because I haven't actually seen the comparisons or like seen any like data on it. So
they used I believe Yosh has a table of like SSIM comparisons, which I think is the algorithmic thing you mentioned. And in every case, even on like BC1, BC3, and of course on BC7, the SSIM comes out higher in every scenario.
That's good.
For all their test pictures.
The main thing is like, we just encourage people to like, you know, share information on GitHub issue, because sometimes people make, you know, GitHub issue and they'll mention, oh, it's like, it's so much better, and like they don't include the data, so we're like, well, we have to take your word, but it's also vague, so like we don't know like what's your data set, what do textures look like, you know, what's actually the difference. So if you're making those issues, please include that information, because if you just say like it happens, like that's not really enough for us to go on.
Looks like they did, yeah.
Modify Arc is asking, will updating Beppo bring any exciting features? The update itself won't, because the features we actually need to integrate. It mostly should help improve like performance a further bit. It lets us build more features, but like there's nothing super like major. It's mostly like performance improvements, because we're using a very old fork of Beppo that like was not even compatible, you know, and like we kind of had to backport for some of the things. The things that we're kind of expecting that are going to be biggest improvements are like, you know, a lot of bug fixes, because there's a lot of crashes that happen because we're on a very old version, and the new version fixed those, but like, you know, we are on a very old fork with modifications, so we can't like, you know, we need to update essentially to get those bug fixes. But mostly for features that actually requires integration to happen, so the update itself doesn't bring that on its own. It might help improve like smoothness of some collisions, because I know there's been also work for like when you have multiple colliders touching, sometimes you get like bumps with those, and I know there's been some work put into like eliminating in that. From Yosh, if you look at it, you got a issue for BC7. Yosh made a benchmark comparing BC7 and C compressionator, basically base comparison across the entire board. I haven't like, I might have seen like the latest one. I know there's been like some discussion and just like comparison with few textures, but last time I checked it wasn't like too comprehensive, which is like, I'm like asking make sure that's included, and if it's already is, then disregard, but last time I checked it, like, there wasn't enough information for us to like make the decision. But if it's already is, like, it's good, we're gonna look at it, like, when we can and go from there. Next question's from Cybercat320. This question might have already been asked, joined just now, but are there any plans to making use of the Steam Frame's extra input, or maybe adding additional bumper support, since Vive Cosmos controllers have bumpers too? We already should support those for the Vive Cosmos, like there should be a node for them. But yeah, like we're probably gonna add like a node that like has all the inputs, so you can, do whatever you want with those controllers, and then we can, build our own control scheme on it as well. Yeah, so there's the node, and you see there's a bumper right there, so you can already get the bumper on this. So
one of the bigger nodes.
We're gonna like make a version of this node for the Steam Frame controllers, assuming we get our hands on a dev kit. So Valve, again, please, dev kit, so we can add this and have people experiment with it and do cool things.
This is a sad node. This is what we call a sad node.
Which one's that? Is that a Vive? It is the Vive. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like how few inputs we have. Like, imagine how big the Steam Frame one will be. Like, it'll be so many inputs. You have a lot of.
All the capacitives. All the capacitors for every button.
Yeah, we'll be able to get everything. We're gonna make so many cool control schemes. But yeah, for anywhere from Valve, we have very creative, community. They do a lot of cool things. We need to give them this for the Steam Frame, so they can make super cool things with all the inputs on the node. So please, DevKit.
Just give me a VR controller that's just like an entire like keyboard, like have a keyboard on each controller.
Oh my god. Oops, I pulled again. We have 15 seconds, 15 minutes, so 15 seconds, so if you still have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, more Blue Sky posts. And there's actually one that I didn't take this screenshot, but like somebody took it and I just like posted it because I thought it like too hilarious. When we were doing our last recap stream, apparently this was like a thumbnail that generated for a recap stream. It's like, can I set next on fire thumbnail? Yes. And I'm like, yeah, this tracks. This is how we roll.
Accordion keyboard layout for each hand.
Oh my god. So it's gonna be like one of the the mice that had like numpad on the side.
Yeah. Oh man, I'll think of like all the inputs for all the capacitives on the Steam Frame controllers.
Ooh, that's
Give me those binary counting gestures. Have like 2 to the power of something gestures.
Yeah, it was so many. This one's from Rukio. This actually has a video of their. Oops, I'm doing it again. Come on, go away. Shoo. Let's whatever with the console. There we go. We have posts from Rukio about the skate park, and we have a video showcasing some of it, so let's give it a watch. It looks like the debugging assistant, a bunch of vectors. I was kind of like seeing the debug things, like I don't know for why, but like they're kind of like appealing to me. Like I work with them a lot too. Exactly, like just skating around. It's a little bit hard to see because it's kind of dark, but
I love skating rinks.
yeah. Oh, there we go. There he goes.
Skating.
Oh,
Skating
like
is one of those things.
you can see others kind of rolling around there.
Skating has always been one of those things that's kind of like come naturally to me, and I love doing it. I really love roller
You'll
skating
be able
or
to in VR.
roller skating. Even in real life too, like I love
You don't
roller
need to do
skating.
it in
I
real
love-
life. You can do it in VR now.
I know I could do it in VR, Froox. Your game is very state of the art. But I also like doing it in real life.
It's kind of alright, but it's a pretty cool post. And it's just day 3.5 of us working on the skating system for our world. Only head and hands movement. It's pretty neat.
Don't make it controllable with your tongue.
Ooh, there's another cool one. There's actually this is from Emil, aka Werewolf, and this actually showcases their quadruped avatar. Let me screenshot the post so you can see the post itself. I'm gonna show you the video in a second. So this is the post. And this is work in progress and cost improved, stands for quadrupeds in Resonite. And this actually looks very cool in the video. Like, let me bring this in. And I'm gonna play this. Make it a bit bigger. Gonna hit the play. Look at that. This is really cool. Like, some people make like really neat avatars that look very non-standard avatars, and oh my god, it even leaves like little paw prints as it goes.
They got that. They got that like wolf trot going on.
Yeah. Like, Resonite gives you a lot of power. Like a lot of the systems like they're in Resonite, they're just, you know, how to put it, they're more like suggestions. Most people end up using them, but like you can make like lots of your own systems. You have a lot of flexibility, and some people, like, you know, really take advantage of that. So if you only know quadruped avatar like this, it's possible. And this one looks really cool. It's a very good job on that one. We got a few more questions as well, so let's look at those. So this is the post again, in case you want to screen cap it. Modify Arc is asking, is there a way to rebind the subcontrols in-game? Right now, officially, there's not. Still something will need to be added. Qualitorium, any thoughts on a flipped around finger photo gesture or binding to flip them around 100 degrees for taking finger selfies? I mean, it might be interesting. Like if you like flipped it, like, so you can, as a like. For me, it might be difficult to do.
I think they're thinking about like doing, because I see people commonly mistake doing the finger gesture where they have one hand facing inwards and one hand facing outwards, kind of like the picture. I feel like that one would maybe work better for an outward facing one, and then if you wanted to, you could use the current one as a selfie one.
I feel I would make that configurable, because like this, to me, like flipping this, this feels very unnatural. I kind of like want to do like kind of rework it a bit and maybe add like new options to it. At some point I would like to add like a feature where you can also like toggle it and just like record a video, or maybe like pop a thing and, you know, move it around. So there's like more stuff that could be done with it, and more kind of configuration options.
But Froox, how I do my finger photo trick shots now, since like the math converges at several different poses, and like do it from like my waist with like really weird hand angles.
No more JoJo finger. Like, you can do this, and I'm like, how? Like, I kind of coded it so like this shouldn't be possible, but there's something wrong with it, so it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
I love it when math converges at several points.
Why? Modify RX asking, why do video players use projection 360 material? Because we support 360 videos.
Well, actually, I know what they're asking. They're asking why does it use the projection 360 on the main display?
Because we support 360 videos.
Well, we do support 360 videos, but even on the 2D display, it's using the projection 360, and the reason for that is because we
support 360 videos.
We do support 360 videos, but the reason I did it was because it was the only unlit material that was both stereoscopic and supported stenciling, so I could mask it with the rounded borders on the video texture on the video player. So
we support 360 videos.
We do support 360 videos, but that's not why it's on the 2D screen.
Well, it should be, because this also for 360 video support, which it should have done.
But it spawns out like a different, it spawns out like a 360 sphere to view those in.
But you're also supposed the projection 360 allows you to also render perspective the way it does in the word browser, so you can look around.
Yeah, I mean it does. I suppose it could do that. Right now it's just
it should have done that.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Oh yeah, Qualitorium is asking, I heard there's no support 360 videos. Is this true? Yeah, this is true. We support 360 videos.
It's not why I put it on the main display. I'm sorry. It was the only shader that's...
It should be there because we support 360 videos.
But it spawns out a sphere!
Yeah, but you can also watch it perspective view.
It is actually perspective view right now. It's just really zoomed in to make it look like a 2D video.
Yeah, because we support 360 videos.
So, to make everyone mad, if you hold up a straight ruler to the video player, you'll see that it's actually very, 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 very slightly curved by 1 degree across the board. Have fun. Lol.
Oh, what have we done?
I've made everyone with OCD very upset.
Oh no. The Bongmaster is asking, so what's the plan for 360 video support? Yes.
Yes. We do support 360 videos.
We support 360 videos.
We also support 180-degree videos.
Oh yeah, they can do quite a bit. We support a lot. We support depth videos. At least some of them, you can do project.
We support 3D 360-degree videos.
Oh my god, yeah, those are cursed. But we support them.
Yep.
Anyway, we've got 3 minutes left, so we've got any last-minute questions. They need to be... Video was asking, but you support 360-degree videos. Technically, yes, you can put any number in the projection 360 because it lets you define the viewing angle.
Yeah, you can even put panoramic videos in there too.
Yeah, it's fancy. But yeah, I think at this point, I don't know if there's any more quick polls we could share. Mason was asking, do you support panoramic cameras that can make curved panoramic pictures? I mean, technically, yeah, you can do 360. If I, well, actually, I don't want to do it with this one because it's probably gonna freak out the stream. But you can set this to high angle, and some people do that to make 360. Or you can just grab this camera. I'm gonna switch it to the 360 mode. There we go. And if I take this one. This takes a panoramic picture, and you've got 360 photo, and should be a mode which lets you render a screen to 360. Actually, it might be broken right now, which is very heavy, but it's a thing we had or have, but it might be broken a bit right now. Anyways, we've got 2 minutes left, so probably unless there's super there's a cute thing chat.
Honestly, I'd probably cut questions here, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a pretty good resonance.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining. I hope you can the OTTER stream. I don't know how much OTTER this feels. I'm worried it wasn't worth the wait because like
we tried.
but I was like, how do we make ourselves otters? So I was like, okay, we make the ears round, we make the tail flat, make the snoot short, add like, you know, the webbings. So if I like, you know, do this, you can see there's like very cursed webbings between my fingers. I doesn't have one because he's a junior developer. But yeah, this is what we look like as authors. And we also like, you know, in a water world, so it's like, you know, something authors like. That I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you very much for, you know, all the questions. Thank you everyone, you know, for playing Resonite, you know, supporting the platform where there's just, you know, being part of the community, because, you know, that's the biggest thing we need. We need people playing Resonite, hanging out, making cool things. That helps us a lot. Thank you for everyone, you know, for who shared all the stuff like that we brought on Blue Sky. We would love to do it more. If you like that section as well, or if you have any suggestions, you know, please feel free to give some. We don't want to keep iterating on it and improving it as well. But we do want to, like, you know, showcase stuff you guys are making as well, and kind of give the stream a little bit more variety as well. And thank you everyone who's supporting Resonate, you know, like financially, like whether it's on Patreon or Stripe. If you're on Patreon, please consider switching to Stripe on the same tier. We get like 10% more from the same amount of money, because Stripe takes a lot less than Patreon does, and we can do more with, you know, with those funds. And that should be mostly it, I think. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you with the next one. Bye-bye. And actually, wait, we don't have much for somebody to rate. Is there anybody to rate? Is anybody streaming right now? Let's see. If you're streaming Resonite, we do want to support, like, you know, more streamers. This is a perfect time to do that, because we will rate you. Looks like there's only Creator Jam. They're doing Prop Hunt number 2, so we're gonna send you over there. So let's do Creator Jam. Right. Creator Jam. Say they're actually recreating the Prop Hunt, or sort of like updating it, which is a really cool map. It's like a very old one. But it's been a lot of fun to play, and I'm glad like they're kind of doing, like, you know, a second take on it. I will also play that sometime. We need more kind of regular games on this platform. So yeah, that's everything for now. Thank you and byes.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Should be raiding. I'm gonna stop streaming and stop recording.